triangles are rotated about the origin. They want us to find the angle of rotation. Okay. So there's a couple of things to do here. Let's go ahead and look at this first example. And first I need to make sure that I understand which one is the pre-image. Okay. Remember, I look for those little primes right here. This one doesn't have primes, so what is this telling me right here? This one is the pre-image. Pre-image is the original figure. Anytime you see these little primes on these letters right here, that's to indicate that this is going to be the image. I guess let me put it inside the figure. All right, so now a couple of things. Remember that you can only work with point by point. Some of you might be able to kind of figure it out. But if you want to specify the angle of rotation, what I would do is I would choose one of these points right here. I want to go ahead and choose Q. I'm going to choose Q prime. Okay. Now, if you read the directions, it says that they're rotated about the origin. So this is from the vocabulary right here. This is the center of rotation. So I do need to put that in my drawing right here. This is my center of rotation. I'm just going to label it center. And the easiest thing to do here is to sort of draw straight lines from the center of rotation to the pre-image point and do the same thing to the image point. And now we want to question or ask ourselves, what is this angle right here? How many degrees did it rotate? Okay, it kind of looks like it's 90 degrees, but how can I prove that it's 90 degrees? Good, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's check the slopes. So right here and right here, I'm going to go ahead and label, I guess we'll label it point C for center points. And let's find the slope of, we'll call it C to Q. Of that line segment. What is the slope here? Yeah, because I rise 1 unit, go across 3, and they're both in the positive direction. So it is positive 1 over 3. What about the slope over here? Okay. Well, let's look at this. Yeah, negative, because, let me label it first. This one is the one with the Q prime. I did go up 3 units, but then when I go 1 unit, which direction? Right, I'm going towards the negative, so this is negative 1. This is positive 3. So I'm going to say that the slope is actually 3 over negative 1, which reduces to negative 3. If you want to put that over 1 so that you can see now that these slopes are in fact negative reciprocals of each other. Okay. And that's how I can prove that there is a 90-degree angle happening right here. Okay. So this is in fact 90 degrees, so I can change this and put the symbol associated with 90 degrees. Now we want to talk about the rotation. Okay. Notice how I was here along this line or along this point, and I rotated in this direction. What is that direction called? How can I give that direction? Do I say 90 degrees up? Would that be? Think about rotation. How do you give direction when you're talking about rotation? Well, if I say to the left, I mean, think about the rotation. If I'm up here, I'm going in that direction, but then when I get, yeah, we give direction in terms of either clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay, so remember we have the clock. This is 3, 6, 9. You know, the clock goes in which direction? This way. Okay, and you can prove that looking at the clock. So this one went, but did this example go 90 degrees counterclockwise or clockwise? Counterclockwise. So I'm going to say counterclockwise. Now, what some of you may notice is in fact this right here. What if instead of going this way, can I go this way and still land in the same direction? Yes. How many degrees would that be? 270 clockwise. And how did I get this 270? Right, because remember that if I do a complete revolution, I would land in, I'm sorry, a complete revolution is 360. If this piece right here is already 90 degrees, to get this outer one, I would just do subtract 90 from the 360 degrees. Okay. So I just want to mention that it could be either one. You could say it's 90 degrees counterclockwise or it's 270 clockwise. Now, depending on the assignment, generally when you get to at least pre-cal, this one is associated with positive. Let me decrease the, it seems a little too positive direction, and that's counterclockwise. When you go clockwise, that's considered negative direction. Okay. So in some instances, you might see positive 90 degrees, but they won't tell you, clockwise or counterclockwise. Usually the sign might also tell you, depending on what assignment you're doing. Okay, for geometry, generally we just stick with indicating, counterclockwise or clockwise. But if you ever see a negative angle, that's just telling you that they're going in the clockwise direction. Okay. But for most of the assignments today, I think there might be one problem uh, where if you just see 90 degrees and there's no negative in front, then we're just going to go ahead and assume that it's counterclockwise. I'll mention them though on the assignments. All right, so go ahead and now try this other one on your own and tell me what is the angle of rotation.